Morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome to the morning show here on Stock Market TV. You got me, Spencer. You got JC. You got Steve. You got Alfonso. We got ourselves a rally. Dare I say a rally this morning? Little bit in the futures. Maybe it holds. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. We're in a correction. That's what I hear. That's what I read. It's what the smart people tell me. Smart people being everyone else on this show. People like JC and Steve and Grant and et cetera, et cetera. On the show today, we've got Riley Rosebee hopping in. We got Louie because it's Crypto Friday. Obviously, we have Alfonso pop in for a few. And that's pretty much it. What do we have in the chat? We have Dawson, Big Man, Billy, Riley in the chat. What's up, Riley? Dan, Robert, Phil, Paul, Yozel, Josh. Who'd I miss? Did I miss anybody? Yeah, I got most of them. What's up with Rudy? What's up, Mary? What's going on, everyone? Shall we get the show on the road? I think we should. Okay. The whole gang is here. That's right. The whole gang is smashing the like. The whole gang is getting the show on the road. Let's boogie.
Oh, good morning. Good morning. Happy Friday, everybody.
Indeed.
Happy Friday.
Happy Purim, JC, to you. Today's a Jewish holiday.
Come again?
Today's a Jewish holiday that you love when you're a kid because today's basically Jewish Halloween. So
today is Jewish Halloween. Okay, I'm into it. All right,
Jewish,
tell me more.
Jews have their own Halloween. Why?
Dude, I love Jews. I love Halloween. Like this is me. I'm a huge fan.
Yeah.
All right, so what do I do? Do Gentiles get to participate or no?
Well, there's no trick or treating or anything like that, but yeah, you can just dress up and
no trick or treating. What kind of half-assed Jewish Halloween is this?
I'm not one for Halloween in general. I've never been a big Halloween person, a dressing up person, so it is what it is. But yeah, if you're a kid, it's fun.
All right,
so,
shout out Jewish Halloween.
Yeah. That's what we got.
It's a bummer that you can't go trick-or-treating. Like, I would just do it anyway. Just start knocking on people's doors, dressing ridiculous outfits. Like, that'd be funny.
Yeah. It's just
can you imagine, like Big Lebowski just showing up at your, be like, it's Jewish Halloween. Got any candy?
Yeah, right? That'd be funny. All right. What do we got going on here this morning, JC? We got some green on my screen. I don't know about your screen, but my screen looks pretty green. Green like this pen.
What do you say we talk about it?
Yeah, all right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got the market moving this morning. We've got the Dow futures up 0.2%. 41,120. That's 260 points to the upside. S&P 500 futures up a full percent. 55.83. Man, they are flirting with some key levels. The ability to get back above 5,600, I think, will be really important for this market. Still below it, 55.83, but up almost 60 handles this morning. So putting in some work. NASDAQ 100 futures up 1.4%. 19,500, up 260 handles for the NASDAQ. Big move this morning. 30-year bond futures down 0.5%, 116.5. Crude oil up almost a full percent, back above 67. Copper up again, surprise, 494. That's got to be the biggest thing. You ask me what stands out in this market. The resiliency in copper's got to be up there. Gold up 0.2%, above 3,000. Shot out $3,000 gold. People are like, JC, why do you think gold's going to go to 3,000? I'm like, well, because it's got to get to 3,000 before it gets to 5,000. I mean, that's just math. So here we are at 3,000, and I think this got legs. Silver up 1.4%, pushing 35 with the VIX down under 24 down in the day over in funny money land. You've got Bitcoin up this morning, 83,500, up 2,400 points for Bitcoin. That's 3% to the upside. You got Ethereum up 2%, back above 1,900. You've got Solana up 2%, 126, hanging in there flat. Total crypto market cap, Mr. Spencer Israel, 2.67 trillion. 2.67 trillion.
All right,
how do we feel about this morning's
We'll
Futures.
talk more crypto with Louis, but we've officially entered the window in which the headlines um, cite next week's FOMC meeting as like market rises as investors await latest Fed decision, right? That window is opens today and then goes until Wednesday when we get a thing and all that jazz. So yeah, I've already seen a few of them this morning, right? They're looking ahead to Wednesday, right? I don't know what's going to happen on Wednesday, but we're looking ahead to it, right? But no, bottom line here, good morning. But then the question of the day is if or how long does it hold, right? That's the question. So,
Well, this week has been kind of like an up, down, up, down, up, down kind of week, if you've noticed, right? So not a lot of,
yeah,
like
you're selling rips and you're buying dips, right? And if you're trading like that, it's working.
well, I don't think that many people are doing what you just described there,
Probably not.
but I will tell you that, for example, on Monday, the S&P 500 was down, then it was down again on Tuesday, and then rallied, and then up on Wednesday, gave up some gains, rallied again, down yesterday, up today. So a lot of up, down, up, down, up, down. Same thing in the Nasdaq 100. Let's take a look at some charts that stand out to me. Um, Start with slide 2. This is an interesting one. I'm being told that we're in a bear market. Here's China closing the week
Mm,
at new 4-month highs.
not in the bear market. Not in the bear market.
Well,
And
I'm
we're
told it's a bear market.
no. You're not. You're told we're in a correction. Uh huh.
I guess. Anyway, so in this, I'm being told that we're in a bear market. Um,
Who's telling
Spencer,
you that?
Spencer, I know that you're in some of my conversations, but you are not in all of my conversations, and that is by design. That is by design.
Jeez, fine.
New 4-month highs for China. I think that's interesting. Throw up slide 3 there. You're looking at China relative to the United States making new 18-month highs. So, for me, I always think about, are we looking at rotation? Are we looking at distribution? What's the difference between the two? It's a gray area. And I think about these things a lot, not just in this market environment, but others. Sure. I think that sure, some stocks have been correcting, some stocks have been ripping in your face, right? So I think that that's great. The worst, I shouldn't say the worst, but some of my not favorite times is when everything is going up or when everything is going down. What I really like is a market where there are some things that are going up and there are some things that are going down. It reminds me of the old days, right? It reminds me of the old days. Some of us would call that perfectly normal. If you go to slide 4, here's another really interesting one. My understanding is, yeah, Kenneth, mid-month conference call Monday night. We'll send a link to that today. Can you get that going, Spencer?
Gotcha.
Um, I'm being told that the AI story is over, right? It was an AI bubble, is what I'm being told. And semiconductors are leading this way to the downside because we're in a bear market, and semiconductors are the leaders to the downside. Well, what if this is not a massive top, like an epic historic top in semiconductors relative to the S&P? What if it's not? What if it's just a well-deserved consolidation after a 3x return in 18 months for semiconductors? What do you think? Is there a chance, just a chance,
Of course,
a well-deserved correction within a
there's
going
there's always a chance, and it's been in a well-deserved period of nothingness for a while now.
being a perma bull Pollyanna by suggesting that this might actually be a positive? Am I being ignorant, Mr. Spencer?
Um, no, you're being glass half full, right? That doesn't make you permeable. Uh, again, with this chart, it's pretty easy to know when you're wrong, though, isn't it? Which is
Well,
which is
I would have. I got to tell you. I mean, based on what we're seeing in U.S. equities, what we've been seeing across the board, sector by sector. I don't like to make assumptions, but yeah, I mean, I would have guessed, I suppose, that this would have completed to the downside by now, and certainly seen some follow through.
it's trying. What do you mean? It's like it's trying to do it
Have you been watching it this week? It's really trying not to do it
for a couple of days, man.
all week,
All week.
all week, man. Yeah, 1
Um,
week. So
days.
semiconductors on a relative basis bottomed on March the 3rd. It is now March the 14th. So when you talk about a couple of days, man, is it a couple of days or is it, check my math? I'm not a math major, but seems to me like 11 days. 11 days, not a couple. 11 days. Are you not entertained?
This is like if you're hanging your hat on this, fine. Um,
What does that mean, hanging your hat? What
like
does hanging hats have anything to do?
hanging your bull case hat on this ratio, turning back around. Um,
Well, it's not so much a bull case as it is a lack of bear case. I mean, if the world was coming to an end, wouldn't this be completing and following through already? And maybe it does next week, but it
or
hasn't. I would
maybe
argue it's somewhat
or
surprising.
maybe this was just the leader in general, and everyone else is kind of catching down to this now. And okay, so this one for the moment, this ratio has stopped going down for the moment, right? Doesn't mean everyone else will. Everything else will.
Well,
So
for 2 weeks, it stopped going down.
I mean, semiconductors led us on the way up. It makes sense also to let us on the way down.
Then how come it's not leading us on the way down then? That's my point.
It was before this though. Like this has been like the leading argument for the Bears for the last year,
It
right?
stopped going down 2 weeks ago. Why don't we look at Europe? Because that's also pretty interesting. Why don't you throw up slide 5 here? Do we have any Polish folks in the audience here? Poland hitting new decade highs. And then people are like, "Oh, JC, I don't own Poland." All right. Well, first of all, that's your problem. Uh, Second of all, this EPOL, talk about relative strength. EPOL has been such a monster for such a long time. It's nothing new. Poland, new all-time highs. People are like, "Oh, JC, nobody gives a shit about Poland." All right, nobody gives a shit about Poland. What about Germany? Go to the next one.
These random country. Well, all right. This is
Is the German DAX a random
no.
country, Spencer?
I was going to say these random country specific ETFs, at least the ones we have in the US, like this is what they do a lot of times. Is they will have like ridiculous outperformance for a period, and then just you can and then right when you chase it, they shit the bed. You go look at some of the best and worst performances for any given year, like across ETF land, and like one year, like Greece and Poland will be at the top, and the next year, and Turkey, and then the next year they're at the very bottom. Right? This is kind of what they do. So
All right, I'm not going to go ahead and compare Turkey to Germany. I would argue that outside the United States, this index right here is the most important in the entire world by a long shot. You know, you could argue that Japan and the Nikkei is probably in that conversation too. But because of the currency situation there with the yen, I'll give the nod to the German DAX. German DAX down. Are we really going to see what the German DAX is down? I mean, it's so minuscule what it's down this week. I'll tell you right now.
yeah, so it's really more of the same, right? America stinks, and everyone else, for not everyone, many other international markets are doing great.
As a matter of fact, actually, German DAX is actually going to close positive on the week. It's a little bit early. It's not. It won't close for another couple hours. But if it closes right here, the German DAX will go out at the highest levels in the history of the German DAX.
Yeah,
It just that sort of behavior doesn't strike me as something that happens.
I mean,
You
but
know, when there's a massive
it's
credit
Europe,
event out
man.
there.
It's just Europe, right? I mean, it's the whole
Well, let's broaden
continent.
it out in Europe. Go to the next slide, and this is broader Europe. This is the Euro Stocks 50.
Yeah, it is Europe. It's all of them. It's everyone. It's everyone. It's the UK. It's France. It's Italy. It's Germany. It's Spain. It's Greece. It's Switzerland. It's all of them.
So Euro Stocks 50 looks pretty damn good. So no selling there. So one of the things that we've been thinking about is like, okay, you know, if there's a massive credit event out there, there's a big problem for equities. You're gonna lose Europe. You're gonna lose China. You're gonna lose these leaders, or you know, remaining uptrends. Right? The United States is selling off. You know, if things are gonna get worse, you're gonna see selling pressure in these areas. I agree with that wholeheartedly with that statement. I guess my point is we have not seen that selling. Quite the opposite. Germany's closing at new all-time highs today. China closing at the highest level since early November. today. So those things just copper going out, pushing 5 for copper. Again, none of those things strike me as the types of things that should be happening when there's a global credit event. Quite the opposite. All of that suggests that we should be putting money to work. I am. I'm looking for longs, I'm looking for shorts, and I'm looking to sell condors. Like that's my world. It's been my world this week. It continues to be my world. I'm impressed with how Bitcoin has held in there pretty well too, as a matter of fact. I know we got Louis coming in the house. I want to talk to him about that. The Bitcoin hanging in there pretty well. Pretty well. Granted, we're still in no man's land in that Bitcoin. We're above 70. We're below 90. We're right in the low 80s, like literally smack dab in the middle of that box. So hard for me to make any strong arguments on the bullish side or the bearish side. If anything, probably more bearish because we're under 90, but structurally probably more bullish because we're above 70. But we're right smack in the middle. So, hard to have a lot of conviction on the Bitcoin markets when we're right here in the middle. Part of kind of what we've been talking about all week, at least internally, is I got to see it. Show me, right? Show me.
I think that was Louis' message this morning in his note. We'll ask him when it comes on in a few. But yeah, Louis is in sitting on hands mode right now, which is fine.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that at all. It's actually wise. I'm not doing much myself in crypto. I am impressed with how Bitcoin's held in over the last couple of days. I will tell you that. I haven't done anything about it, if that means anything to you. But why don't you go to slide 8 there? I can't believe we've gone 19 minutes here on the show and not once talked about gold hitting new all-time highs, 3,000 for gold. And how about this? Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Yeah, because the U.S. stock market sucks up all the oxygen in the room, all like 100% of the oxygen in the room, right? So no one has room to care about gold or Germany or even China, right?
Good.
Right?
Good. Now think about this. Whose problem is that?
I don't know. Maybe mine. I don't know.
Like, think about it. Like, imagine having your head so far up your ass that you're so busy watching some stocks selling off in the United States that you're ignoring what's happening in precious metals, you're ignoring what's happening in China, you're ignoring what's happening in Europe. Like, that must be a hard way to go through life, like pay no attention to all the money being made over here. Let's just focus on, the Trump and what's happening in the United
No,
States.
you
Like,
pay
that's gotta be tough
attention.
living, man.
You pay attention to what you own, right?
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't pay attention to what I don't own.
Well, that's probably part of the problem, right?
Maybe.
That's part of the problem, right? I
I pay
think
I pay a little bit of attention. I pay more attention, a lot more attention to the things that I do own. Put it that way, as most people do. So,
you got no precious metals, Spencer?
no, I don't. I mean, I have in the past. I don't have any right now.
You don't like uptrends, Spencer?
I don't like making money, JC.
Apparently. No, I mean, listen, the gold has obviously been working for some time. It's not a new trend. We know that. What is new is the participation in silver outperforming, the participation in gold mining stocks, making new 52-week highs. Now that is something new. That is something that we hadn't been seeing before. It was literally just gold. And then it was just like us, like wondering, like, I wonder when the stocks are going to start participating. I wonder when platinum's going to start working. How come silver can't stop underperforming, right?
Yeah, and a good point from Brian Harris. I mean, we were talking about these pockets of strength yesterday with Chris, and he was, saying that he's sort of waiting for the strength to give way, right?
The strength in what?
In everything that's in gold, right? I think that he also talked about Europe. I thought, and just sort of he's waiting for that shoe to drop. So,
So he's in the camp that the United States is a leader, and now those others are going to catch to the downside. When until now, it's been the opposite. Germany's making new all-time highs. China hitting new highs as well since November. So, fill me in, Strazza, on Varone. What was your favorite part of the conversation?
Chris is so generous with his time, and he's also generous with simply the information that he shares. He, mentioned that two of his largest holdings right now are gold and Chinese equities. Personally, that's what stood out most to me.
So Chris Verone, somebody who we respect more than, man, I mean, I put Chris Verone in the Ari Wald category, in the Todd Sohn category. Like
Yeah,
Verone
sure.
is Verone for me,
One of the best.
yeah, he's up at the top as far as I'm concerned. And he owns the things that are doing the best. I can't believe it, Spencer. I can't believe it.
You know,
So gold and China. Interesting. What did he say about the Chinese? I got to go back and watch the interview, but I'm just really curious because he's the man. What kind of sentiment is he talking about in Southeast Asia? And when was the last time he was there?
not much. He's going in a month or two, and he
Yeah.
said he'll find out more then.
All right, we got to get him on the show as soon as he's back, or we can get him on the show while he's out there. Call it in, phone it in the morning. He likes the morning show. He texts me, that he watches. So might as well chime in.
We've been he's been building into those bases in China since mid last year.
Yep.
So he was there early.
Sounds familiar.
Yes.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, he expressed frustration about being a China bull.
Yeah, he
even though-
talked. Yes.
Right?
Frustration is how?
Just holding.
Because it ain't that easy. It's not always so easy, JC. It doesn't always go up like that.
No.
Right?
No. I'm fully aware. And then what do you say about U.S. stocks?
U.S. stocks been in the bear market.
Been in a bear market.
That's what he said about semiconductors. Spot on.
Yeah, since last summer, right?
Yeah, it started last summer. Really happened. It was that ASML earnings report. It's almost been 6 months now. That was early last October when they basically came out and said like semiconductors are screwed, but nobody believed them.
that in hindsight, that seems like a bigger deal. But in the moment, it was like, well,
they're the one. And Spencer, they're the one company to listen to because they touch pretty much everything. While a lot of these other semi stocks are dominated by one theme or one growth area.
Right. ASML, the Dutch master, it's like a tell-all story.
I think it's the best information, better than Taiwan Semi, probably.
Wow, I didn't more. And then what about like Nvidia and Broadcom?
They do everything that's not AI, ASML, right? And that's basically the read that they gave us when the stock crashed last fall.
Okay.
They were like, nothing is good out here. Well, they cut their guidance by like 40%. No, it was huge.
Yeah, it was big. You can see it on the chart. It was big. Yeah. Anyway, should we bring Louis on here and talk about crypto?
I want to talk about crypto.
You want to talk about crypto?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
All right. Louis, we're doing it.
Got my fingers on the pulse, avocado and toast.
Ludo.
Hey guys, how's it going? Apologies for the temporary background here, just in the process of just moving to the new place, so it's getting that set up. But look, just happy to talk about crypto today.
And then where's the new place?
Literally the bottom of the country, believe it or not. So you can't go any more south. So I'm, just right next to Antarctica. So it's crazy. It's but it's just amazing here, just absolutely beautiful. It's really beautiful.
Are you the furthest south that humans can go? Are you below South Africa?
I think so.
Yeah,
well,
but
no. I mean, Argentina, you can go a
you're below
little bit
South
more
Africa.
south.
he's not below Argentina. Like, I don't think.
Yeah,
You're not
But
below
it's
Argentina, but you're below South
in
Africa.
terms of New Zealand, right, which is obviously at the bottom of the world, I'm at the absolute bottom of New Zealand, so you can't go literally any more south, and so it's a bit of a crazy move, but it's just really beautiful here.
I like when you got the hair, like the kids these days, they do the alpaca, like the llamas, they get the curly hair on the front, like the alpaca look. Like you go to the barber, be like, look, you see this silly animal? I want to look like that. You're going in that direction or no? Is that just a shadow?
Well, I mean, if you look at the morning show just a year ago, like I had hair down to almost like my shoulders, right? And the trend has been going higher, right? We analyze trends. It started from the bottom and now we're here, and so it's just moving higher.
Started from the bottom and now we're here. Wow. Okay. Speaking of starting from the bottom and now we're here, we came into even like late last week, early this week, we're talking about the potential bullish momentum divergences in Bitcoin and Solana, even in Ethereum, but particularly Bitcoin and Solana, because it's hard for me to take Ethereum seriously. And I was really pointing to, if this does not turn into a reversal, like holy shit, look out below. because when bullish momentum divergences are not that, that's a big problem. Uh,
Mm.
they've hung in there pretty well, I must say.
Yeah, I mean, well, you say they've hung in there pretty well, but I mean, the average crypto's in a 65% drawdown. So,
I'm talking about over the last month, we're back above the February lows and holding above those levels. So yeah, I understand the drawdown. We're past that. Like we're here now.
yeah, exactly. And so moving forward, right? So we've seen this massive correction in crypto, and so the obvious question is like, where to from here? When are the good times going to return? Because one thing we can always be guaranteed as traders is that there's always going to be a future opportunity, right? Warren Buffett said that there's no call strikes on Wall Street. And so it's inevitable that the good times are going to return. And what often separates mediocre traders from good traders is just this ability to step out of the market, just be patient, let things set up, and then move and then add to positions when you have some conviction that the market's set up. So just that patience. And I think right now, after this significant drawdown that we've seen in a lot of cryptos, right? Even Bitcoin, but in just virtually the entire crypto asset class, is that more times than not, you see this period of ranging where the market almost needs to range and digest before moving on and actually beginning this new trend. And so it's actually the exception, right? Like if you go back to COVID, we had that massive decline and essentially everything, we bottomed and then we just moved to the races and we just never looked back, right? That's the exception. What the majority of the time tends to happen is you have this bit of a range get formed. And so I think this, if you're going to look at bullish data points, this bullish momentum divergence that you're seeing in Bitcoin, and it's not just Bitcoin, it's a lot of crypto assets. It's Solana, which is still above this big level of support around 120.
They look exactly
It's
the same.
yeah, exactly. And so
Short term
that's
anyway.
that's the first step towards developing this range, right? And so a lot of people are quite arguably quite panicked and quite there's a bit of fear and uncertainty out there, particularly in the world of crypto, which is totally understandable. But I think the next step from here is not leaning into FOMO and saying, okay, the market's moving so fast every single day, because that's what happens, right? In these sort of tapes, you get that crazy volatility in either direction. And so naturally from that, like psychologically, we almost just have this drive that we're missing out because these big moves are happening. But I think just almost just taking a step back, realizing that the market tends to range, tends to digest these moves. And then from there, we can actually move forward once the market's actually just calmed its nerve. And then we can have this next catalyst to look forward to and potentially break high and form a new trend. So I think just in the interim, just, almost just taking a bit of a breath, just like crypto's like been an absolute mess, but now just being a little bit patient and just allowing it to set up. I think that's the most grounded move here.
Do you think a long position the above the February lows is too cute? You think that's too cute, or do you like that tactically for a bounce?
And Solana?
Solana or Bitcoin, it's the same trade.
I think for Bitcoin, I think it's a bit too cute for me right now. It's trading in no man's land, right? We've got that broken support around 90,000, but then we've also got that big level of support, that potential retest of 70,000, right? So
And
if
we're
it's
right in the
trading
middle.
around 80,000, literally right in the middle, right? So how are you going to define your risk there? It's against the lows. I mean, that to me is a little
Yeah,
bit cute. I'd
that's
just
my
prefer
point.
to,
Like this is where I'm thinking like selfishly, right? Like I got
Mm,
money to put to work, been patient, good. Took a couple of shots a couple of weeks ago. That failed quickly. Great.
mm,
One of the things I was selling Strazza is like in the old days, we used to all the selling of crypto was at profit taking, generally speaking. And these days, the selling of crypto has been getting stopped out. Very different behavior these days. Again, I'm what I'm thinking about. It's a Friday going into the weekend. Thinking about this weekend. Monday, what's going on? We got a party Saturday night. I got to pop in the city later this afternoon. Like I got things going on. I'm thinking about what am I money to put to work? Am I putting money to work today? And one of the things that I'm thinking about is a tactical trade in Bitcoin and or Solana against the February lows. I'm thinking about it. You're telling me it's cute? I agree. I think it's a little cute.
yeah. And so, I
I
mean,
don't
I think
hate it. I don't hate it,
yeah,
but it definitely is cute. So if you're gonna put the trade on, you got to know.
when
It's
you're
not a
out,
great
right? When you're
It's not
out.
a great probability of success,
Mm. Yeah,
right?
exactly. I like to keep my life simple. One of the reasons why I moved down here is just there's just this awesome camping, right? You get out into nature and I've just been simplifying my life, just getting out into nature, just going on walks, going on hikes, going camping, it's great. And so to me, when I'm just walking this beautiful landscape, do I just want to have in my head, oh my God, like Bitcoin is trading at 80 and I need to get out at 78 and I need to check my phone and like, I just prefer just to allow myself to explore more of the high conviction setups, right? Rather than getting trapped in quite a noisy setup. And besides, what's happening in stocks right now, the probability of another violent shakeout, whether it's just another 3% down day in the S&P 500, is still quite elevated with the way that the short-term trend is looking. And so again, I think we could absolutely get this short-term oversold bounce. You can make the argument that the markets are a little bit oversold right now. From here, we can bounce. I think that probably happens, right? But do I want to be forming a trade around that? Well, no, probably not, because you don't actually need to be forming a trade and making money off every single move. And so just taking it a little bit more slow and methodical and letting that base set up, I think is really probably the better strategy, or at least that's what I'm doing.
I would be remiss if I did not throw this one up here. This one to me, I want to hear your thoughts while I got you. First of all, how come people get mad at me when I call it Ripple and not XRP? Is there like a thing? Is there like a
Is that
thing
really
there
a
that I don't
thing?
know
Do
about?
do people get mad at you?
Yeah.
I mean, people just find a reason to get mad at anything nowadays, and so
Got it.
that
So
I
I
mean,
was wondering, because like sometimes I feel like I'm in the loop and sometimes I feel like I'm out of the loop. I felt like there was something there that I was missing and I was just being like, like an ignorant, like just old ignorant man or something. But you're telling me that I'm allowed to call it Ripple. There's nothing wrong with that. They're just breaking balls.
JC, this is the Ripple community we're talking about. I'm not surprised by really anything. That community is batshit insane, and so that I mean, in terms of surprising things, it's probably the least surprising thing in crypto that I've probably heard.
But I'm not
It
doing
must be
anything wrong. I'm not doing
it
anything
must
wrong.
be it must be quite a sad life when you're out there and you're just like being angry because someone called your crypto investment XRP or Ripple instead of
No,
what.
because I call it Ripple because I just assumed that that's what you call it. Throw up slide
Yeah.
2 there, please, Spencer. I just assumed that you just call it Ripple because that's what it's called, right? I didn't know that that was like a foul.
Yeah,
No, there
it's
isn't
beyond
any
me.
cryptocurrency on the planet that looks like this. So I would like to
It's
hear,
yeah.
I want to hear your thoughts as to why this is so why it's like it's dancing to the beat of its own drum. Is that what they say? What do you think? What do you think's going on here?
Yeah, and so Ripple's certainly different, right? Where a lot of coins are just they don't look like this, and Ripple's certainly been around now for a few cycles. And one thing in crypto is that generally the older the coin, the higher the probability that it's just going to zero, right? Because in the long term, 90% of these things are going to zero. It's probably closer to 99.99%, seeing as having millions of cryptos being made every single day, right? At least in the bull market. But then Ripple is that one exception, like you're saying. And so I think there's a really strong community aspect to this. And I think that points to something within crypto that's quite strong, is this cultural aspect. When times are good, people are almost saying like, hey, I'm buying NFTs for the culture. I'm buying Doge for the culture, right? It's almost like this community, this tribal thing. And it's a little bit surprising to me. As you know, I'm generally just not a fan of Ripple, how it's set up, the tokenomics.
Can you
I think
excuse my ignorance? And this might be a stupid question. Is this
sure.
just a Bitcoin fork? Is that what it is, or is there something else here?
Well, what they're trying to do, basically, in simple language, is that they're trying to replace the global Swift system, which
Got it.
that's it's very ambitious, right? Don't get me wrong. Um, but there's no real evidence that they're actually doing that. They have no real evidence they've matched or partnered or have any relationship with any financial institutions. They make the claim that they are moving large amounts of money, and it's what it just sounds batshit crazy, right? If JP Morgan moves how much every single day, right? Hundreds of billions, if not trillions of funds every single day. Why are you going to go through Ripple that has this random cryptocurrency project instead of like it just makes no sense. But the community is just so involved in this one. And as you say, like, you can't even call it Ripple without them getting angry. Like to me, that sounds like you probably have deeper issues
No,
there.
and I knew about the Swift system. That was a brain fart. I knew that. Uh, but they are crazy. So somebody in the chat chiming in says the that I call it Ripple because that's what it used to be called, and nobody called it XRP, and then now people are calling it XRP. But I guess because I'm old school, that we always called it Ripple. Does that make any sense to you?
Yeah, I'm just reading the comments as well, and it's something that's quite funny. Ripple said that we're legit
No,
and
that
we'll
sounds
show
right.
our
That
books,
could be
but
it because we've been trading Ripple
when
for.
when asked for the books, we wouldn't produce them. One Whole says like that's
Louis,
that's on the mark.
you're spot on, dude. I've been reading through the chat for the last 10 minutes. I just want to say thank you, everybody. It just makes my morning. Every morning. Every morning. We have the best chat. It's
Yeah.
just amazing. I laugh so hard at so much of this. I don't think there's anything there with the t-shirt indicator. I do think you guys nailed it with Dow Theory. Throw up the charts, Alfonso. I mean, JC, Louis, what did you expect? Did you expect to get traditional Dow Theory confirmation in this rip-roaring bull market? Because we never got it. Is that a broken signal? Is Dow Theory still a thing? Modern Dow Theory
Hold on,
works
what are you
really
talking about?
good.
Are we talking about
Yeah,
Ripple?
I'm confused. Like we're
Yeah,
talking
what are you
about Cripple
talking
and
about?
Ripple, and
I'll
then you're just talking
explain.
about
I
Dow
know.
Theory.
I know it is confusing because it usually doesn't happen this way, but maybe just we lost that information.
Well, let's
January.
let's reiterate something that Dow Theory is not a signal.
Oh,
Never was, never
definitely
has
not.
been, never
No,
will be.
no signal here.
Never. It's not
no
an
signal.
indicator that provides signals. Never
You're
has been.
absolutely right. No confirmation. So S&P 500 made new highs early last year. Dow had 15 months to get there and confirm it, and really never did, aside from a little failed break, right? Then, if you go look at the semiconductors and think about modern Dow Theory, nailed it. Been there the whole time, confirming everything. Got there before it. So I don't know. And then Louis, the reason I wanted to talk to you about that is because didn't the same thing happen in crypto? If we were to apply Dow Theory to crypto, never got confirmation from anything.
Oh, don't even go there with
Uh,
the Ethereum. Don't go there with the Ethereum.
Listen, I just told the guys to make it with Ethereum, and I said make it with Solana too. To be fair, but it doesn't matter, right? Solana would have been.
Ethereum sucks so much. It
You didn't
sucks so much, dude.
You didn't
Hey,
get
Strazza.
confirmation from key assets and key indexes for a long time this cycle. And
Hey,
now I think
Strazza,
that's coming to roost.
can I just point out something with that chart before with the transports and the industrials? Wasn't there a divergence there where the transports made a lower high?
They both made new highs in December. So if you're looking for confirmation, you got it then.
The most recent. I'm just looking at the blue
Is
line.
that
there,
confirmation? Right? Well, they got to stick it. False start. Ain't no confirmation.
These are not signals. These
Steve
are
is just trying to push buttons this morning.
Yeah, these are not signals. One Charles Henry Dow in the late 1800s. He was just a journalist, bro. He wasn't even a trader. He's just trying to write his articles about the direction of the economy, and he was using these two indexes. This is not a signal to buy or to sell. I know like they teach journalists like these made up things like correction territory and all these lies. Like none of those are like actual things. It's just like a journalism thing.
And I got to qualify my statement. Everybody but DS in the chat is awesome. Get rid of this loser.
All right, DS, come on, be nice. All right, Louis, I know it's late. We'll let you run. Thank you as always, guys. If you are in AAC crypto, make sure you check out Louis' video from yesterday if you missed it. And yeah, Louis, we'll talk to you.
Louis, thank you, bro. Appreciate it. Nice hair day today. Good work.
Hey, thanks, guys. Yep, have a good weekend.
All right.
I love how like Strazza like breaks my balls because I'm always talking about Dow Theory, and now he's just coming in hot. Like we're not even talking about TradFi.
I know.
We're talking about Ripple. We're talking about Solana, and he's coming in hot with the Dow Theory. I'm like, what is this guy babbling about?
It started with crypto Dow Theory. I was sitting here looking at some charts while you guys were talking. It just evolved.
That was way to left field there. All right, let's bring it back. We have Riley in the house, so. And he sent over a few charts, Steve. They're already in the deck there. I guess they're in the bottom. There they are.
I know what's on Riley's mind.
What, helicopters?
We're going to go really, really, really high. Yo, Jay, we've been friends for a long time. Make the call.
I mean, this is pretty professional, guys.
Nice show you got going here.
Oh, Mr. Riley.
Riley?
Boy, what's going
Jesus, the echo.
on? Are you guys
Riley,
getting that echo, or is that just me?
No, we're hearing it.
Do you not have heat?
Yeah, where are you, bro? Are you like in an igloo with
We're gonna
like?
talk about this backstage. Yes, that is the situation. Do
Are
you
you
guys
wearing?
want to talk
Are
about
you?
stocks though?
Are you
Do we
Hold
wearing
on, I
wanna
want to
talk-
know
deodorant
where
these
you are.
days? What's? Take
Are
your
I'm
you
in
in
hat off.
Fort?
Sedona.
Are you in Fort Knox?
I'm in Sedona, Arizona. It's cold here. We
Who has
got
better
snow
hair,
coming in. That's the
Riley or
ultimate
Louis?
question.
Wow, I
That's the
don't know,
ultimate
man.
question.
Riley's kind of crushing it with the hair. I think Louis might have a little FOMO.
They both bring it. You
Yeah,
know,
they both
Sean
bring it.
too.
Yeah.
He makes me raise
You
my
guys
game.
should make a band. You, Sean, and Louis. I'll come up with the name for it.
They could just be the hair guys.
right.
Riley
No.
Rosebee coming in hot. Riley just texts me randomly throughout the week, just like random like innovations that are being created and like random people flying
Random.
all over the place.
He'll send random videos of helicopters taking off from like nondescript locations, and then we have to wonder, like, is this even real or is this an AI generated video?
Most
Because
of
these
it's real.
technologies are that cool.
It's true. I don't think AI could give someone hair that good though. That's some solid hair you got going there, Riley. All right, Riley. So I'm my neighbor is now the chief of staff of NASA. So like I'm gonna
You
have a
mentioned
NASA
that.
jacket. Like we're all
Yep.
getting jackets, right? Because some of my other neighbors are really obnoxious, more obnoxious than me, believe it or not. And they're like, bro, we gotta get jackets. I'm like, what? I don't even know what jackets they're talking about. But apparently NASA jackets are like really cool, and
Yeah.
I'm getting one. So I'll just be
Yeah.
rocking that on the morning show like a G. No big
If you,
deal.
if you get an extra one, send it my way.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll see what I can do. I know a guy.
Yeah.
I know the guy. All right.
Good.
Can mine say
but
Chief YOLO on the back?
We'll have Giancarlo like embroider it or whatever. All right, Riley, let's get down to business. So, you know, you are obsessed with all things like technology and like the future and like the Jetsons and whatnot.
Yeah.
We're
Riley's
at a
so young.
moment.
He's like, what? The Jetsons are like from the 90s, right? I'm like, no.
We're at a moment though. We're at a moment. We're at like
Are
that
we at a moment?
inflection
Tell me
point.
why we're at this moment.
Because AI is now becoming a garnish into every single other technology. And it's the nervous system for the whole automation thing to keep going. So, you know, we're seeing this rapid advancement in the automation, robotics, flying vehicles, and I mean, nobody knows what the future is going to hold, but this, like, you got the ingredients for an industrial revolution here setting up.
Archer just released, just put out a press release with the word Palantir in it. Do I have that right?
They put out a press release with the word Palantir, which I don't think is a bearish sign by any means.
I like what they're up to.
Yeah, I mean, they're really tackling kind of the software and the infrastructure behind the aviation network that is within the United States. So obviously, this is a big win for Archer and Palantir, but like probably a bigger win for America aviation as a whole because we're stuck behind the times.
All right, so let's dive into so throw up the composite index. Let's talk about these names. Do you agree it's too soon to pick an industry leader here? Is anybody in a clear lead?
Oh, it's way too soon. I think Archer's in an interesting position just given their military contracts and kind of the involvement that they have within the US government. That said, 3-5 years from now, I don't know if these companies are going to be the ones that win because when we get this advancement, what happens when we start getting these new types of propulsion technologies? Like I met with a group, you know, a few weeks back, they're developing electric propulsion jet technology. So, you know, I don't know if you guys would call this 1992, 1994, but we're early.
All right, you ready for this, folks? This is the Godspeed Flying Car Composite Index. Woo! That is a mouthful.
How about that?
I think for now, you could say the market's picking Archer as the leader, at least. It seems that way, right?
I mean, Yihang's doing well. You guys talking about strength in China. As far as relative strength goes, Yihang's the strongest of the bunch.
Yeah, it's hard to tell if it's being dragged up by the group, right? Is it a China thing or is it more moving on its own growth prospects? What's interesting about these companies is they all have daddies right now, right? Like these are startups, huge burn rates, and they need that money. And Toyota is in there very involved with the Joby. And Stellantis is in there constantly kind of injecting more capital into the Archer. Does Ehang have a daddy too?
The CCP.
Who's your daddy and what does he do?
That's
I
scary.
mean, come on, it's got to be President Xi, wouldn't you say? Like
Okay.
they're in China.
Sure.
What do you expect?
And do these companies eventually get bought? Is that the bull thesis? That if
Maybe.
they nail it, they're getting bought out for 2, 3, 5 times the current
I don't
stock
know.
price?
Did Ford buy a horse and buggy company back in the early 1900s? I don't know. That's it's so early. It's so freaking early.
Strazza, this index looks like a lot of these speculative growth charts, right?
Yeah.
Looks like ARC.
It looks like China.
Well, we're on
man.
the
like a lot
far
of
end
China
of the
stock.
risk curve here. I
This looks
do.
like the
If
fifth
you guys can
path.
pull up though that UPS chart, because I think this tells a little bit more of an interesting story.
I thought we were going to talk about exciting stocks, not trashy
Well, we're
ones.
going to talk
there you
about
go.
exciting
Wow.
stuff. Okay, so
UPS.
UPS, this company is in its largest drawdown since 2008, 2009. Ticking 52-week lows, it's just grinding lower. Meanwhile, from the private markets, we have a company called Zipline, who they do autonomous drone deliveries. They just announced this week they surpassed 100 million safe autonomous miles flown.
Who owns Zipline? UPS?
No, Zipline's private. I think they raised
Oh.
their Series F last summer.
Okay.
So they're probably going to come into the public markets here at some point. I was chatting with you guys earlier, and like that might be a little bit of a risk off signal, when they finally go public. But we're starting to see the cracks in terms of displacement. Like, what if UPS doesn't adhere to this new trend? They have no announcements as far as autonomous drone delivery. Amazon just paused their project, but we're seeing the private markets take off. All the puns intended there.
That's interesting.
So many puns. UPS. Ugh, what a shit show. Dow Jones Transportation Average new 52-week lows yesterday.
How do Uber and Tesla fit in to the new technologies, the EV tolls? Is it just they're not interested
It's a
quite
good
yet?
question.
Not yet.
I can't help but think, Riley, that the easy way to this future is that we book these on Uber.
Yeah, totally.
Right?
I mean, so Uber had the Lyft program back in like 2014 they announced, which was like this air taxi, or Uber Elevate. They closed
way
Uber
too early.
Elevate. They sold it to Joby. Joby wants to be like, the Toyota and the Uber to facilitate all these air taxi services.
Oh, wow. They sold it to Joby.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So dude, I mean, we're early. The biggest heuristic I'm looking for is we need some flying cars to take flight in Dubai, Q4 of 2025 or Q1 of 2026. If we don't get that, then
first, it'll happen there before China.
It might happen in China, but I don't know. Do you guys trust the Saudis or the Chinese more? Like
I don't trust anybody. I think they're all full of
mass
shit.
adoption. Like
That's
I would
impossible.
probably follow the Saudis lead.
Whatever any of
more
those
so than
people
China.
say, I'll just assume it's the opposite.
I will believe it when I get to take a practice ride. Where can
Let's go
Where
to-
can I demo these?
Let's go to Dubai. We'll go to
So
Dubai.
we can go to space for $250,000, which ain't bad.
I wouldn't do it.
Bad. I'm not going to
Is it-
do it.
You
but
would
Riley-
that just-
Riley's gonna do it.
You would have to
Is
pay
that
me
just-
$250,000 to get in a fucking rocket ship and go to space.
Right,
Like,
but
What
I'm
are
not
the
gonna do that.
details? What are the details of this space trip, though? Do we just get into like low Earth orbit? Do we get out and
Yeah, I'll
about? Like,
get
do
some
we see the
information.
town?
Prices are coming down. Katy Perry's going.
Crazy person. That
Well, she's
literally
impossible.
sounds
I
so
would
awful.
go honestly if I wasn't married with kids, I would go to space. And so, but we'll just send Riley, and then you can tell us about it.
Yeah, I'll report from the morning. show.
$250,000. It's
I'll
prices
say
are
it right
coming
now.
down. It's gonna be like 150 soon.
I'm never going to space. Ever. I don't care what happens.
I don't think I'm ever
couldn't
gonna
be
go to
less
space too.
interested.
I got too much to lose. I got a good thing going here on Earth, so like I think I'm pretty good. But Riley's more adventurous. He's younger. He doesn't have like the children and whatnot. So fuck it. Let's just go, right, Riley?
Let's go. Let's
Yeah,
go.
I don't need to go to space.
You got to push the final frontier. You got to push the final frontier.
Riley, this is one really interesting growth story. It's a really, really small niche corner of the market right now. What else is on your radar, right? We are going through a mega growth phase, like you talked about. AI is the fuel for all of it. What other kind of areas like this are you paying attention to? Some big growth stories.
I mean, I think the biggest one has probably got to be nuclear, just because energy is going to, obviously, energy powers the world. We have this
Yeah.
massive demand for
This is
energy.
a good one. Yep.
Nuclear
Like
is kind of the next gen energy play. And we're seeing it. You got the Oklos, you got the SMRs, you know, these names are these speculative growth names that fit in this space theme as well. So
It's the
that's
new nuclears
it's the new
that are exciting.
nuclears.
So
Yeah.
Riley,
Small
And then
modular nuclear reactors. You can just go put a nuclear reactor in your backyard and call yourself.
They call
hold
them
on, I
SMRs.
want to know the universe. Let's talk about the universe. So when you're thinking about this technology, you're thinking about energy, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Energy is included in this, like batteries and nuclear. Is there anything else? Solar or any of that, or no?
Not yet. I'm not convinced with solar as far as like an efficient means for
But
sustainable energy long term.
nuclear energy, batteries, like that makes sense. Okay, so you got energy. Now you've got like things that fly. So these are like what? Flying cars, flying helicopters, and these are all electric?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what if they run out of electricity while they're in the air? It falls.
I don't.
What if a plane runs out of gas if it's in the air? I mean, come on
Oh,
now.
that's fair.
Dead.
Okay. I guess
You're
it's the same thing.
I don't want to fly the flying cars. Someone's going to fly them for us. Is that right? Computers?
I don't think they're ever going to let you fly flying cars, bro. They're going to take one look at you and be like, yeah, this guy's not allowed.
Here's what's funny about this. Flying cars better be easier than driving cars because they can't even figure out the ones on the road. The ones on the
They
road
will
are
be.
still a disaster.
We're not going to drive them. When the mass adoption hits, we're
Yeah,
not
but
driving, flying these.
I'm
things.
not going to
We
want to
get
be in them. Do you see the way they drive? They're all glitchy. Like they won't go around cars. They park in weird places on the side of the road. They can't parallel park. Like the Waymo videos that's going on out in California. What a joke. I'm not going to sit in one of those cars while it's doing.
Have you ever been in a
dumb shit.
Waymo?
I've never been in a
I have
Waymo.
not. I would very much like to. Where do they have them? San Fran?
Come out to
California,
Phoenix.
they have 'em in
Come out to
Chicago.
Phoenix. As
Phoenix
soon as
has
you
'em?
get off the airport or off the airplane, there's going to be 100 Waymos there sitting ready to pick you up and take you out.
Wow. And what are they? Are they Teslas? No.
No, I think they might be Toyotas. It's been a while. So I remember Uber came out first in like 2015, 2016 with these autonomous taxis. They were using Volvos, so they would mitigate the safety concerns. But now they're just everywhere. They're crawling everywhere down here. So
wow. And you don't have to deal with an Uber driver that thinks that you're their therapist, you know?
they don't, you're not getting stock tips from your Uber drivers. That's a nice thing.
That's right.
That would be a good horror movie. It's shocking that Netflix hasn't done this yet. You get off in some strange airport like Dubai, you get into like a Waymo, and then it locks the doors on you. It's like, you're coming with me. And it drives you to some like deserted space in the desert to like a Joe Pesci casino scene.
Yeah, that is scary. It's a scary thought, Strazza. There's definitely got to be a movie about that.
We got plenty of movies about
haven't
horror
done it.
films with robots. I think.
Oh
I think
God,
we need
every
to have
other
better.
day.
Yeah.
They're hilarious.
Yeah. Okay, so JC, you were asking about components here. Nuclear obviously is a major one. The next unlock, humanoids, and then just this automation within industrial.
So let's talk about the humanoid. So I've been going back and forth about getting this robot dog. It's only like $1,600 or something like that, $2,000. Like it's not bad at all. So it's not the money. It's just how do I feel about having a Chinese manufactured robot dog around my 2-year-olds and my 4-year-old?
There's no need to yet. Just wait.
You know
Probably come around Christmas. There's going to be a different dog.
I know, but it does like backflips. Like it's pretty cool.
These things are crazy, man. They're advancing it.
So I'm building. For the record, I got my the township finally approved my backyard situation yesterday. So we are officially a go. My office is being built as we speak. So what I'm thinking about doing is that in my office, I get a humanoid and teach the humanoid how I like my coffee so that the humanoid brings me coffee. Like that's like task number 1 for the humanoid.
Done.
And I can keep it in my own office in a separate building that's separated from my house altogether. Okay. I can program it where it's not allowed to leave my office. Right?
But you want the humanoid though? They're creepy as shit, dude.
They are pretty creepy. That's why I'm gonna lock it in my office so that I'm the only one that gets to be creepy with it.
My call on all of this.
Okay, hold on.
hold on. You watch the movie. Keep it in your closet. You can take it easy. They have rights.
First of all, I'm a male heterosexual. I'm not into robots.
Yeah, well,
I'm
listen.
into females. My wife is beautiful. I'll kick my coverage there.
Listen, you got to watch the Netflix movies. You could fall in love with the robot. This
I'm not
happens
into
in
the robots. Spencer,
every
on the
movie.
other
And here
hand,
comes
maybe is
Spencer
robots.
to
I am
tame
not.
us down.
Dude,
I have a hot take. I have a hot
You're
take on
into
this.
hot blondes.
No, there's humanoids, and then there's ones that they're making that literally look like robots, like machines. I think humans are going to embrace the ones that look like robots and machines, not the ones that are trying to look like us. I think that's creepy as shit, and we don't want that. I think the ones that people are going to bring into their house are going to look and feel more like robots. I don't want to be like, wait, is that a human behind me? No, it's a robot. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants to feel that way. That's creepy as hell, right?
So Strazza, how soon until you want to bring a humanoid into your home?
I'm saying
Living
never.
space.
I'm saying never. You could bring a robot in here if it's going to like hang pictures on the wall and like do handyman stuff all day.
I'm
take
just
that.
thinking coffee. Like I'm not even trying to like give a hammer or some kind of weapon to this robot. Like, let's start with the coffee, and work our way there. I want to see what kind of balance the robot has with the coffee, because I don't. I'm spilling
Dude,
it all
the
the time.
dexterity these robots have at this point, it's mind-blowing. It's
No, I know. I'm
absolutely
thinking about it.
mind-blowing.
I just want to say, one whole love you, but saying how JC hates non-Americans. I am the opposite of hating. I love non-Americans. Shout out Canada. Fucking Mexicans, dude. I love Mexicans. I wish I had more Mexicans around me. I love the Jewish community. I got no Jews. It's all Gentiles by me. It's quite the bummer, honestly. It's terrible. The bagels here are unedible.
JC, yeah.
I don't have Indians by me either, which is a bummer. Totally a big fan of. I was telling someone yesterday, I grew up in Miami. I lived in New York for 1,000,000 years, right? So I know a lot of people in both of those cities. But I swear to God, from the bottom of my heart, I show up in Mumbai, more people will come out and party with me in Mumbai than in how many people would show up in New York and Miami combined, right? I got a lot of.
Well, there's more
Mumbai,
people in Mumbai than in New York and Miami combined.
Well, that
JC's
is also
a pop
true.
star in India.
That is also true. There's a lot of people there. True.
JC considers himself a citizen of Earth, right?
Yes, I'm an Earthling. Shout out Earth.
That's how we
Japanese
should all be.
people, like, are you kidding me? I'm obsessed with Japanese people, first of all. So, like, to suggest that I hate non-American, I think I just hate the Americans mostly, is what it seems like to me. I like the others way better. People in Canada are so much nicer than in America.
Shout out Indians. I think I'm going to the Hard Rock Saturday. Excited for that.
No, wait.
It's different Indians.
Oh, okay.
Jesus Christ. Let's just do recess and get out of here, all right?
Those kinds of Indians in Mumbai, bro.
Riley, why don't you hang out for recess, all right?
Okay.
All right, cool.
I think my Roomba's broken.
You have a Roomba?
It just bumps into things and like it's stuck on chair
See what's
legs.
wrong with these robots, bro? I'm telling you, these robots, can't trust them. I want to give shout out to Ras Malai. Ras Malai is so delicious. Shout out to the Indian community. Ras Malai is like if cheesecake and tres leches had a baby in India. That is Ras Malai, and it is delicious. I actually made it once. It's actually not that hard to make. Believe it or not. It's delicious. And I'm going to the city this afternoon. I'm going to do maybe a little TV, swing by. What should I tell the folks in TV land? What should I tell them?
Yeah, tell them we're in a bull market, JC.
Tell them we're in a bull market? Okay.
Yeah,
Tell them
do it.
about China.
You think that'll go over well?
You should tell them about China.
Yeah.
I would just tell them about China.
You're like, China doesn't give a shit about your transportation stocks, bro.
No matter what they ask you, just talk about China and just keep doing it.
Is that the bit? Is that the bit today?
Yeah.
Okay.
They ask you about semiconductors, be like, well, the Chinese semiconductor, just only China.
You know, I'm not into the gulab jamun. I want to be, I'm just not. Gulab jamun is something that I really want to like. I'm just, give me that ras malai all day. Okay,
right.
So whatever they ask me on TV, I'm just going to be like, yeah. So anyway, so China.
I'll give you a point for every time you say China. We're
Okay,
gonna.
how many points am I trying to get?
How many do you think you can get? What's the over under? How many times could he say China? How long is the bit?
How long are you on TV for?
Okay, so the word is China. How many times can I
word
say
is China.
China? I can do 6 or 7.
You probably could, right?
I could probably get double
get
digits. You
creative.
guys think I could do double digits?
How long
That
is the
would be crazy.
segment?
They might not have you back.
Dude, I've been playing this game. Speaking of India, we had a teacher in college, and she was Indian, Professor Bhattacharya. Shout out Professor Bhattacharya, and she had a very strong accent. And so we had like this end of year presentation, and we had to say, from Super Troopers, we had to say, what was the word that we had to say?
Meow.
Meow. We had to say meow.
Yeah.
And then we had a guy, like it was like one of those stadium seatings, and we had a guy in the back like counting for us, and it was like, and meow, we're gonna talk about, and then it was like I think we hit like 18 or 19 throughout the entire presentation between all of us. It was really extraordinary. So
That's so
this isn't
fun.
the first time I played this game.
Okay, bonus point for the Zloty. We're setting the over under at 5.5 negative.
Oh, yeah, bonus point for the Zloty. So one Zloty
Okay.
equals 3 Chinas.
Fine.
One
Should be
Zloty
5.5 or
equals 3
6.5,
Chinas.
Jack.
And
I
I'm
think 5.5
just trying to
is
get
fair.
double digits. You're making it easy on me.
You're gonna just say China. They're gonna rip you off.
Who are you on with? Where and when, JC?
I don't want to dox myself. I will be in an undisclosed location with an undisclosed journalist that may or may not be wearing a pimp suit.
Just tell us where we can watch it. Jeez, Louise.
On Fox
You will
Business
watch it on
this
the
afternoon.
internet. God damn it!
All right, 5.5 it is. Guys, listen.
5.5. I'll
5.5.
double that shit. I'll double that shit standing on my
I
head.
guarantee you don't say China 6 times. I'll take the under. Yeah.
Oh no, I'll take the over. He's gonna.
Are you kidding me?
he's
I think
gonna-
you know better.
I know,
than
he
to-
does
than
give
to
you
bet
some
He's
laws.
against
gonna get
me.
China 6 times in the first 30
Let
seconds.
me ask you
Like, don't
something.
get
How
to
well
it.
has it worked out for people who bet against me? And how well has it worked out for people that bet on me?
Rachel's right. 6.5 if the Zloty counts. If we're giving you 3 for the Zloty, we're setting it
Dude,
at 6.5. That's
Double
it.
digits standing on my head. Are you kidding me? Come on.
You won't get double digits. Positive about that. Listen,
Dude, 2 Zlotys gets me a 6. Come on.
let's
All
see
right.
it.
Anyway, shout
Let's
out
see it.
to Steve. Did a great video yesterday with Jason Purrs.
That's
I'm
so
dropping
fun.
I'm dropping the link in chat right now. There it is.
Love chatting with them.
Sort of talking about pockets of strength, right? Talking about gold.
Talking about places we can go right now.
Yeah.
Some new places. Spencer, can I do a recess?
Please save me.
Big East tournament. Everybody. One of the best sporting events in the world forever. It's so good. You take the train and you can watch 4 games in a day if you
First of all,
really.
this is such a Connecticut thing to say, but go ahead.
Anyway, St. John's, UConn. We're gonna get one more shot tomorrow. I'm really excited. One more shot at the Johnnies. I don't think they'll beat them. But both of the semifinal games are on tonight. Super exciting. You should go, Spencer.
I have my own team to watch tonight, and then
That's
maybe tomorrow, and maybe the day after that.
Terps.
It's a great sports weekend. College basketball. There's 20. You know how they rank the top 25 teams every week. I think like today, 20 of the top 25 are playing. Like today, like every good team is playing today, basically. And tomorrow and the next day. So there's a lot going on.
And the Players Championship too. Don't miss that. Shout out Florida TPC Sawgrass. Beautiful course, right, Riley? Right?
Yeah, that's gonna be a good one.
That's
I
right,
do have a
Brian.
recess because I noticed everybody was talking about my hanging shoes. So these are my
the
first
deal?
pair.
Why do you have
of
children's
Jordans.
shoes? Why do you have children's shoes in your room?
They're my first pair of Jordans, dude. Come on.
That's so weird.
You
What is your
say your
obsession
first.
with? What's your obsession with baby blue?
Oh, it's the best color.
I grew
Tell
up
'em.
being a Nuggets fan. In the early 2000s, we had the powder blue, baby blue Nuggets uniforms. J.R. Smith, Kenyon Martin, the Birdman. You know the drill.
Mel.
Yeah.
Blue is the best color, and baby blue is the best of the blues.
This is
Beautiful
just a
color.
fact. This is just
I don't
a
know.
fact.
Navy's pretty sweet.
I got one more recess though for you because I just got this new book from the library. It's called The Great Good Place, and it talks about the idea of the third place in relation to the community aspect. The reason this book is really, piquing my interest is what happens if flying cars become a thing, and then like our automobiles kind of go away. Our whole urban development is about to shift. If
The internet kind of got rid of the third place, right? Libraries and cafes and places to gather. It's not like a thing anymore. People don't do that. People don't gather.
Yeah, and in this book, there's a really great quote about in the pre-industrialization era, the third place wasn't a thing because we just like lived and worked at home, and so then
Right.
second place outside of the home. So that's kind of where we're going. 20 years from now, who knows what's going to happen?
Big changes. I'm
Changes.
short cities.
Those Nuggets teams led the league in neck tattoos, if you recall. Like
Well,
the
the-
amount of neck
Birdman.
tattoos.
The meme about that Nuggets era was the Thuggets, and we're in this
Yeah.
like
The Kenyon
granola
Martin,
state.
AI, Birdman, just so many neck tattoos. Like there wasn't enough neck for all the tattoos that they wanted to put on their necks.
Also,
much.
we were blessed with peak mellow. I just want to say that. Like we were blessed with peak mellow.
Yeah, that's probably true. By the time he got to the Knicks, yeah, that's probably true.
Did they have the tatted white kid, the point guard on that team too? Jason. It was Jason.
No.
Williams, right?
No,
Williams, no.
Jason
It
Williams,
was
no.
Kings, right?
Yeah, so
They were
there was a
bad,
lot of
too.
teal. So much
They were bad.
teal. We should bring the teal back. I miss the teal.
Weber,
Um,
Stojakovic. Great time for basketball back in
It
the
was
day.
a good time for
The
basketball.
golden era.
Yeah,
The golden era.
That's
the
right.
Sacramento Kings, the who gives a fuck team of the NBA. A lot of
They
people
were
did
fun.
at that moment. That's the only
They-
time ever that
For
anybody cared
for a
about them.
hot minute, like a year and a half, they were
Yeah.
like the team.
That was a
They
fun
were-
team to watch. Remember?
They were
Mhm.
awesome.
I was there for that. Yep.
Indeed.
All right. We got, I guess, things to trade. JC's looking at things to buy, so I hear people tell me. So we'll go do that. We'll be back on Monday morning. So thanks for hanging out. Thanks, Riley, for hanging out with us through recess. Appreciate that. We didn't have Fonz on today. Fonz, you want to come on for a minute? You don't have to. It's okay.
No, Fonz wants to put some trades on.
That's what I bet. We got Jason Leavitt on the show on Monday from Leavitt Brothers Research, and that's the plan. So thanks for watching. Thanks, chat. You guys crack us up. Sometimes you crack us up too much. Sometimes I have to not look at the chat because it's distracting, making me laugh. I can't do it, right? But chat's on fire as always. So thanks for watching. Go make money. Have a great weekend. Happy Pie Day. Happy Pie Day.
Ooh,
everyone.
happy Pie Day. Go eat pie. What's your
Go eat
favorite
pie.
pie? Apple pie.
Yeah,
Let us know if you're in Miami next week.
Apple pie. That's right. All right. See you guys.
Adios.
Spencer.
Green. Well,
See ya.
where's Waldo?
I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground.